Hi everyone, I'm Akshay Sharma from Sonatype Security Research, and just last night, White House released details on the executive order signed into law by President Biden, which strives to improve cybersecurity across the US. The move comes by the president after a series of sophisticated cyber attacks that have impacted both public and private sectors. Yes, I'm talking about the Solarwinds supply chain attack and the most recent Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack, which did manage to cause a few fuel shortages across different states. Now, the entire order is quite extensive. I mean, it's like 34 pages or more if you take a look. It covers multiple aspects of cybersecurity. Just to summarize here, the executive order will require government agencies to follow certain guidelines and requirements before they can procure certain software applications and services. So for example, it will require IT and operational tech service providers, including cloud hosting providers, to share information about any cybersecurity threats and breaches that they have come across. It will also upgrade federal government's IT infrastructure. This will be one of the requirements to switch to, a zero trust architecture. The executive order also will establish a cyber safety review board, which will consist of members from both federal government and private sector. And these members will analyze recent breaches, convene after a big incident happens, share confidential information. So one of the key aspects of the order is to lower the bars, when it comes to sharing information on cyber attacks. And there's many more requirements, improving detection and remediation, but also very importantly, the executive order sets a standard for improving supply chain security. And it provides new guidelines, tools, best practices to audit software and assure that critical software is not tampered by malicious actors. Now, I'd like to expand on this last point about software supply chain security. This executive order will require any company that sells software to federal government agencies not just to provide the application itself, but also a list of components that make up that application. And we refer to this list as SBOM, or Software Bill of Materials. And this is an important requirement because in today's world, just many organizations, they may even manage to know what applications they're using, but they just do not have a full picture, full idea of what's inside those applications that's building them. And according to Sonatype's DevSecOps community survey from last year, the fact is that fewer than 50% of companies today produce SBOMs as a standard practice in software development. And at the same time, breaches tied to open source software components, which are used in applications, they impact 1 in 5 organizations annually, about 20%. So that's significant. So a key aspect of this executive order is that by requiring companies to provide a software bill of materials, not only when they're selling to the government will they have to do this, but I think it sets a standard. The reason like this order matters is because the federal government is trying to shape the entire software market in the power of procurement, right? And I guess the general consensus is if a few companies, who sell to the federal government, they start doing this, including an SBOM or software bill of materials, everyone else will follow. So take a look at the executive order. Sonatype has also released a blog post you can read to educate yourself about what an SBOM is and how it applies to software supply chain security. And last but not the least, feel free to use the Nexus vulnerability scanner, which is provided free of cost if you want to generate software bill of materials for your application. Different teams at Sonatype have been keeping an eye on this executive order and the subsequent developments, and feel free to get in touch with us should you or anyone have any questions. That's it for now, folks. Thank you.